This one middle school teacher said that she had a class pet, a goldfish, that she loved very much. Well, one morning she got to school and she went to go feed her fish. All right, Felipe, time for breakfast. Felipe? Felipe? The fish was gone. Nowhere to be seen. The tank was empty. That entire day, she was incredibly sad. She announced to her class, "Hello class, this morning I walked into the classroom to feed Felipe, and he is no longer in the tank. I have no idea where he is. I don't want to point any fingers, but I didn't move him, so that means one of you had to have taken my fish." No one said anything. Until later that night, she was sitting at home when she got a text from one of her students. It was a screen recording of a Snapchat story. Snapchat story showed a kid putting Felipe the class fish into a water bottle and then giving that water bottle with Felipe inside of it to a random person on the street. Oh my God. She never saw Felipe again, and that kid was suspended. Black markets kids ran in their schools. This one did not work out so well for this guy. When he was in school, he tried to run a business. So the school had two Wi-Fi signals. One was public for the students and the other was private for the teachers. Obviously, the private Wi-Fi was the faster one. Well, this kid somehow got his hands on that Wi-Fi password. And he thought to himself, you know what? I'm gonna sell this password to other students at the school. And so he found his first customer. "I have the teacher's Wi-Fi password. Do you want it?" "Yeah, I want it. I'll sell it to you for 50 cents. 50 cents? Easy. Here you go." He felt good. He made his first sale, and he was planning on making a lot more money that day. So after that next class was lunch. He was going to walk around and try to sell this password to more students. "I have the private Wi-Fi password. You want to buy it off me?"
Oh, Billy told me it already.
"Oh, okay. Hey, so I have the teacher's Wi-Fi password."
I got the password from Billy.
"Hey, you want to buy the teacher's..."
No, Billy gave it to me, man.
Does everyone have...
Yeah, I think so.
Billy! "No one's buying my bags of chips. I bought so much to sell at school today, but I haven't sold one." "Bro, it's because everyone goes to the vending machine." "Are your chips cheaper than the vending machine?" "No, man, they're more expensive. I'm trying to make bank." "No, I don't know what to tell you, bro." "Fine, man. Hold on. I have an idea." "Hello, vending machine, my enemy." "Shut your mouth. I'm gonna unplug you." Oh, I'm gonna unplug you. And now I wait.
Excuse me, I just want to get to the vending machine.
Unfortunately, it's out of order. It's not working.
Oh, really? I wanted some barbecue chips so bad.
You're in luck today. I actually have a bag full of chips for sale. $4.
$4? The vending machine's only $2.
Well, the vending machine isn't working, is it?
Fine, I'll take them. Here.
And here you go. Tell your friends. Today's gonna be a good day. So this guy's nephews are graduating high school. It's a big crowd, he knows it's gonna be packed. So he shows up to the graduation early. He brought his own folding chair because he has bad knees, and he brought some headphones. So he opened his chair, sat down, and popped his headphones in. And because he's early, he was just chilling by the entrance. About 40 minutes before they let everybody in, this pregnant woman shows up. Somebody must have let her cut in line because all of a sudden she's right next to him. And not even 5 minutes later, she taps him on the shoulder and says this: "Excuse me, would you mind letting me sit in your chair? I'm having trouble standing." Okay. He's polite about it, He goes, "I'm sorry, I can't. I got really bad knees and bad feet, so, I need it. That's why I brought it." She nods and then asks again like 2 minutes later, and he's like, "Yeah, still no. I'm sorry." So now she's annoyed. She's huffing and puffing. She turns to her husband and is like, "Can you say something to him, please?" "Hey, man, she's pregnant. Would you mind letting her sit in that seat?" The gall of these people, okay? Anyway, this guy says, "I get it, but I really do need it. That is why I brought it. She can wait in the car or maybe sit on the curb or something. I don't know. It's not my problem." Now this lady's husband flips. Wow, you are such an a**hole. Here's the thing. This guy came early. He planned everything. He brought his own chair because he has bad knees and feet. That's his chair. And now he's the bad guy for not giving his chair to some rude pregnant lady? Please. He rarely talks. He doesn't ask questions. He just fixes stuff. Every school's got that one person who just handles everything. At this school, it was the janitor. He was a quiet dude, always wore the same faded button-up. He never ran. Never seemed to be in a rush. He just walked around like he had all the time in the world. But somehow, whenever something went wrong, he was always there. Locker jammed? You'd turn around and he'd be there already, crouching down with some tools. Happens when it rains. You're good to go. Popping it open in 2 seconds. Projector broke during a presentation. Teacher's panicking, and from the back of the room, mind if I take a look? Vending machine eats your dollar. He doesn't even ask. He just walks up, slaps the machine, and boom, there's your chips. Walks away. Like a freaking legend. Like I said, he was quiet and he barely talked, but he always showed up at the exact right moment. One time, a kid twisted their ankle during gym class, and the gym teacher was freaking out. 15 seconds later, here he comes with an ice pack and a rolly office chair. Have a seat right here. Put this on your ankle. Mr. Stevens, I'm rolling him to the nurse's office. Okay, you guys have a great class. Come on. He wasn't nosy. He didn't snitch on anybody. He, just fixed things. And when someone would say thank you, he would just nod and say, that's what I'm here for. Best janitor ever. So there was this teacher, strict, rule obsessed. Didn't matter what the rule was, if you didn't follow it, you were done. One day, this student, let's call him Marcus, starts coughing in class. He reaches into his backpack and pulls out his inhaler. Doesn't say anything, doesn't interrupt the class, he just takes his inhaler. And the teacher stops the entire lesson. Excuse me, what is that? That's my inhaler, I have asthma. She walks over, takes it out of his hand, and goes, you can't just use things like this during my instruction. I'm putting this on my desk. Now, I forgot to mention that this teacher was kind of one of those super old mean teachers, so, you know, maybe she's losing it, because who would do this? Anyway, this kid tries to explain, but she doesn't care. She takes his inhaler and puts it on her desk. If it's that serious, go to the nurse. Otherwise, follow classroom rules. Marcus just sits there, wheezing, staring at the inhaler in front of the room. Well, after class, he actually goes to the nurse and tells her what happened. And the nurse is absolutely livid. She talks to the principal, she calls Marcus's mom, she files a report. Within 24 hours, there's a giant meeting at the school, and this teacher's there. No one knows exactly what happened in that meeting, but the principal pulled Marcus aside afterwards and told him that he was free to use his inhaler whenever he felt he needed to. Marcus never said another word to her in her class, but he used his inhaler whenever he wanted, and she didn't say a single thing. Now, this may not be related to what she did, but at the end of that year, that teacher retired. Good. I'll give her a clean 7. Could have been worse. 7. Generous. Every time this class got a sub, there was this one kid who would quietly take out a piece of paper, title it Sub Scoreboard, and start grading the sub as the class went on. No one said anything, no one gave it away, it was just this perfect silent agreement that this class always did. He kept the scoreboard hidden in between his notebook like it was official, and the stuff he graded? Petty, specific, unnecessary stuff. -1 for mispronouncing names, -2 for saying, I don't know, I'm just the sub. +3 if they actually followed the lesson, -1 if the class got too loud, and bonus points if they brought in snacks. He'd make a mark, nod to himself, and keep going. Just stay in your assigned seats, okay? I don't know, I'm just a sub. Then at the end of the class, right before the bell, he would walk up, fold the paper once, and hand it to the sub. Final score, 7 out of 10. Not bad. Some subs laughed, some were not amused at all, and one time this sub read the paper, looks at the kid and says, you think you're funny? Let's see if the principal thinks this is funny. The kid just blinks, grabs the paper back, and adds 1 more score. -5, no sense of humor. He folds it again, hands it back, and he walks away. That kid is hilarious. Is that Miss Carter's voice? Oh my god, her mic is still on. One time, this teacher left the room to take a quick phone call, but she forgot that her microphone was on, and the entire class heard everything. So this teacher had one of those little mics that would clip to your shirt and connect to some speakers in the classroom because her voice was naturally very quiet. She gets a phone call, so she steps out into the hallway. She shuts the door behind her, and then suddenly, no, because I'm not doing this again, Brian. It blasts through the classroom like an announcement. Everyone just goes dead silent. You said you were gonna handle the wedding invites, and now I'm the bad guy? She was pacing the hallway, full on arguing with this Brian guy, but the room could hear every single word through the speakers. I don't care if your mom doesn't like it, she's not the one getting married, Brian. Someone in the back whispered, Brian is so done for, man. The teacher then walks back in and the class is just sitting there silently staring at the speakers. Did you guys hear all that? Yeah. Oh, okay. She turned bright red, turned off her mic, and went back to teaching like nothing happened. And here's the part that I'm sure some of you are wondering. The engagement was called off a couple months later. Are you coming to gym class? Nah, man, I got court. Wait, what? This kid, 7th grade, shows up to school one day in a full-blown suit. Tie, dress shoes, everything. He's carrying a briefcase, everyone's confused, and he just goes, I got court during gym class today. Turns out, this kid started a full-blown student court system. He printed a summons, he made a self-made courtroom in the corner of the library, and he even made a logo. Every charge was student-related. Chewing annoyingly with your mouth open, cutting the lunch line, stealing pencils, and you could plead guilty or go to trial. State your case. She skipped me in line. Do you have any witnesses? Yes, Your Honor, 5 of them. People start requesting trials for dumb stuff. The teachers hear about it, and they think it's absolutely hilarious. Until one day, this kid was messing around and tried to summon the principal to court. For what? For having a terrible haircut. Yeah, the principal didn't take this very well, and he obviously shut it down right then and there. In total, this kid held 17 court cases. I don't know where he got out of all this, but it's honestly genius. She really did that? Yup. Well, let's get her fired. There was this one teacher. Strict, rude, completely unpredictable. She'd take off points for sloppy handwriting, dock your grade if you turned something in 5 seconds late, and she would also lose assignments like it was nothing. Steven, where's your homework? I literally turned it in. Well, I can't find it, so no, you didn't. At first, everybody rolled with it, but she kept pushing. Like one time, she graded a full assignment a 0 because the kid printed it double-sided. It's harder for me to read. I can't even read this. The moment these kids really snapped, though, was when a student turned in a 3-page paper. It was perfectly done, but he forgot to staple it, and there was no stapler in the classroom. What the heck is 0? Why? Life has consequences. Next time, remember the staple. And that's the point when the class was like, nah. They were done. They started screenshotting their grades, along with the assignment that the grade was for. They recorded her when she was yelling at students. They would save emails that she would send to them where she contradicted herself or made herself look like a horrible teacher. This one kid had a folder on his laptop called Operation Bring Her Down. Once they got a bunch of evidence, they printed everything and put it into a very big packet. They labeled the packet, Why She Shouldn't Teach. They brought it to the office, and they waited. 3 weeks later, a sub walks into their classroom. No explanation, just, hey everybody, my name is Mr. Johnny, and I'm gonna be your sub for the rest of the year. Okay? Your teacher had to go, or something. Okay. She was gone. They did it. No goodbye, no warning, just a pleasant surprise on a Thursday afternoon. Hey, I mean, if she was a horrible teacher, good riddance, right? They're better off. Shut it down. We can't. There's a wait list. At this one high school, there was this one kid that never taught, like ever. Nobody even really knew his name. But one Monday, he walked into the cafeteria with a massive backpack. Everyone was very curious, like, what the heck is in there, man? He sat down and he pulled out a full-size blender, a jug of orange juice, and some frozen fruit. He plugged it into an outlet and... Everyone was staring. This kid's making a frickin' smoothie? And lunch? He poured that smoothie into a cup and handed it to the kid next to him. For me? Okay. Yo, that's good. Just handed the kid a smoothie without saying anything. The next day he did the same thing. Brought the blender in, made smoothies, but this time he handed 3 cups out to people. And again, every student loved them. Day after that, 5 cups. It's like he was testing the clientele to see what they liked. Well, by Friday, he had a handwritten sign that he put in front of this lunch table. Smoothies, $2. Mango, pineapple, or strawberry banana. And the wild part? He was good. Frozen fruit was packed in dry ice. The straws were pre-torn so we could just pop them in there. And he had a punch card system. Buy 5, get 1 free. At first, the teachers didn't really notice. He was blending during the loud parts of lunch. He even had a kid from drama club doing the marketing. Attention everybody, everybody. There are smoothies at table 20. Go get yours now. This all started crumbling down when kids stopped waiting in line for lunch. And they began waiting in line for these dang smoothies. What in the world is going on over there? Some kid's got a blender and he's making smoothies and people are paying for him, man. I don't know. Well, shut it down. I can't, man. There's a wait list. Mrs. Johnson's in line. I'm so excited for my smoothie. Principal didn't care. He came over and took the blender. Unplugged it. He was shut down. But was he? That kid missed school the next day. But then he came back with a battery-powered blender. He didn't need to plug it in anymore. During lunch that day, the principal and the school police liaison came and got him. They brought him to the office, and everybody thought he was done for. But then the next day, he came back with a new and improved sign. Smoothies, $2. Mango, pineapple, or a strawberry banana. Now approved by school. Turns out him and the principal made a deal. Okay, fine, you can sell them at lunch, but you have to also sell them at every single school event this year, and we take a 5% cut. The money you make during lunch, that's yours though. Deal? By the end of the year, that kid earned enough money to buy a used car. He was the silent smoothie slinger. You gotta respect the hustle. So this kid, her name is Jennifer. She's 10 years old, she's super chill, she's having dinner with her parents. Her and her family are just talking about school when she casually says this. Oh, Katie's in my class. That's my teacher's daughter. Totally normal, right? Well, her mom froze. Like fork in her mouth froze, startled, and she goes, wait, your teacher's daughter is in her own class? Jennifer is confused. She's like, yeah, I mean, she treats her like everybody else. It's super normal. And her mom's like, of course, sweetie. Now go on. She smiles, nods, and sends her kid to go play Minecraft or something. Then she turns to her husband and says this. This is a full-blown scandal. She starts talking about how this teacher's kid has unfair advantages, like secret access to test answers and stuff like that, like it's a freaking crime show. Her husband's just trying to eat, and he goes, are we sure this is a big deal? Well, apparently that was the wrong move. You're not even willing to stand up for your own daughter? What are you saying? And then the next morning, she wakes up and she emails the entire 5th grade team at that school, saying that this kid being in her class is incredibly unfair, and that she's gonna go to the principal, calling it a terrible case of nepotism, which is just a fancy word for playing favorites, even though there's literally no proof that this teacher is playing favorites at all. She even CC'd her husband on the email. He reads it and he's like, yo, you really sent that email? Are you kidding me? She said that when her husband said that, she got so mad she left the room. Way too disrespectful. You're being a terrible father. Now, it's incredibly awkward for this entire family. The husband is not talking to his wife. He's super pissed because she's being absolutely crazy. There's nothing wrong with a teacher having her own daughter in the classroom. Like, it has nothing to do with them. Jennifer's kind of like, what is going on? She said it's been awkward for her in class as well. And this entire time, the mom is walking around like, I can't believe no one sees what's happening here. This is a scandal. No, it's not. What do you guys think?
So teachers are starting to realize that kids are using ChatGPT. There's a website called Quillbot, which you'll go here and get the paper. Then you take it from there, put it on Quillbot. Then Quillbot makes it seem like you wrote it, so the school cannot track it.
Not anymore. Quillbot is detectable, as you can see right here. I mean, this is the proof. Quillbot does not work anymore, but there is a solution. Use this tool instead to beat Turnitin and GPT-0, and it's completely free. It's called Grubby AI, and it's an incredibly effective AI text humanizer that is 100% undetectable by AI detectors. School's right around the corner, and I think this thing's gonna save your life. This teacher had the weirdest rule. So this kid, let's call him David. He was in middle school, and this one teacher had a lot of weird rules, but one rule stood out to be the most weird. At the end of every class, students were required to shake this teacher's hand before leaving. Every single day. It didn't matter if you were sick, your hands were sweaty, or you were holding all your books, you had to shake this teacher's hand. And now David, like a lot of others, thought that this was the dumbest rule ever. Like, why is this even a thing? Creep. Well, one day he decided to test it. Alright, class is over, the bell rings, everyone's lining up to shake this person's hand like he's the dang president. When it got to David, he just walked right past. Excuse me, David. Yeah, what do you think you're doing, man? I'm leaving, man. Not until you follow the rule like everybody else. I'm not shaking your hand, you weird. The whole class goes silent. The teacher, fuming. He walks to the door and he blocks it. Well, if that's the case, you're not leaving. You weird. Now David's stuck. He can't just leave, and the entire class is watching this entire thing go down. David sighs. He slowly reaches out his hand. Fine. Goes in for a handshake. That's right. Now as their hands are about to touch, David inhales and fakes a ginormous sneeze. Spit goes all over this teacher's face. You know, everybody just get out of the classroom now. Just go. The next day, the rule was gone. I guess the teacher tried talking to the principal, but the principal told him that it was kind of creepy in the first place to make all your students shake your hand before leaving class. I agree. How to deal with a bully. Let's dive right in. Look, there's Steven. What a loser. Hey, Steven. Oh, what's up, Billy? Bro, you're an idiot and nobody likes you. What'd you say? I said you're an idiot and no one likes you, man. Loser. Hey, are you okay, man? I'm just wondering if you're okay, man. Why are you so mean and uptight? Is everything good at home? Shut up, dude. No, for real, man. Cut the crap. Honestly, are you good? Actually, man, it's been pretty rough at home. My parents have been fighting a lot recently. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Cry, baby! Guys, look, he's crying!
You're so dumb. Your parents are getting a divorce. You smell like my mom.
So this one guy's at Lowe's, and he's shopping solo. DIY plumbing situation. He's in the aisle looking for parts. He's totally zoned in. When, out of nowhere, he kind of tweaks and had a little freak out moment. Turns out, it was a yellow lab. The dog sniffed him. That's it, just a little snout boop. Nothing more. But this guy spins around like, what the hell, man? And the dog owner is like, you'll be alright, man, chill. Now, any normal person would have taken a breath and been like, okay, yeah, you're right. Hi, what a good boy, you know? But this guy loses it. That is not your call to make. Don't tell me I'll be alright. Are you kidding me? He's just full-blown going off on this dude. And the guy calmly says this. You know Lowe's is dog-friendly, right? He sniffed you, man. Big deal, you're just being a jackass now. And our guy says this right before he walks away. Off. He grabs his stuff, he storms to customer service. I want to file a complaint. About what? A dog sniffed me. So yeah, he left mad, still very much heated, over a dog sniff. Imagine being that guy. This teacher was mean for no reason. She snatched phones, she gave out detentions like it was candy, and she always blamed the wrong people. So this one kid noticed something. Him and the teacher had the same exact water bottle. Same color, same brand, same size. So one night, he filled his water bottle with pickle juice and spicy pickles. He screwed the lid on tight, and he labeled the lid, "Do not touch, pickle juice inside." The next day, he walked into that teacher's class early and casually left the water bottle on her desk. Didn't say a word, just sat down and he waited. Halfway through the lesson, she picked it up without even looking, took a big sip, and instantly froze. What is this? It worked. The kid said this. Wait, I think that's mine. She took a closer look at the water bottle and read the lid. Do not touch, pickle juice inside. Why was this on my desk? I guess I forgot where I left it. I'm sorry. Principal's office now. He goes to the principal's office. So why are you messing with Mrs. Johnson? I didn't. Well, then how did she randomly drink pickle juice? We have the exact same water bottle. I even have the receipt. I bought it last month. Okay, but why was there pickle juice in there? Because I made pickles and I want to eat them at lunch. Okay, but you couldn't have put your name on the water bottle or something? I did. I even put on the lid, do not drink pickle juice inside. So, it's not my fault she doesn't pay attention to... Hey, language. I'm sorry. Am I in trouble? I mean, technically, no, you're not, so... Get out of here. And that's basically how it went. He didn't get in trouble because technically he didn't do anything wrong. Honestly, that's a legendary prank. Oh, is she just on TikTok right now? I guess we can all be on our phones then. No phones in class. What? So this teacher at this one school was just done. She was tenured, bitter, and she didn't even fake it anymore. She walked in late almost every single day, never brought in her laptop, and gave students independent reading like 5 days a week. But this time, she just kind of took it a little too far. She walked in 10 minutes late, holding Starbucks, sat down at her desk and said, "I'm not really in the mood today, class, so just pretend I gave you something to do." Then she pulled out her phone and didn't even put headphones on. She just started scrolling on TikTok full volume while sipping her coffee. The whole class looked around like, wait, what are we supposed to do? But naturally, a few people pulled out their phones as well. You know, I guess it's totally fine to be on our phone today, they thought. Absolutely not. No phones allowed. I don't want to hear a sound from you guys. Silent. Do something, but be silent. They're like, you're literally watching TikToks in front of us. What the heck's your problem? That's when one kid pulled his phone back out. Not to scroll, but to record a video.
If I post myself and get... I don't care how cheap something is.
Just a quick video, her at her desk watching TikTok full volume, sipping her coffee, and the rest of the class sitting in silence. He posted it that night. Next day, 40,000 views. Somebody sent that video to the principal. The next day, the principal pulled him aside and asked him to take the video down. But instead of getting mad, he said this. "Thank you for sharing that. We're gonna use it." They're gonna use it, he says. By sixth period, the superintendent showed up at the school. He walked straight into that classroom. The principal was behind him. They asked that teacher to step out in the hallway. She never came back in. The next day, they had a sub. Good. That teacher should definitely not be teaching. Craziest things found in fast food. In 2015, this man, Mr. Dixon, went to a KFC. He ordered the chicken tender meal to go, and he took them home to eat them. But as he was sitting down enjoying these chicken tenders, one of them tasted strange and was kind of chewy. He then gave that piece a closer look, and he saw what looked to be a deep-fried mouse. Completely disgusted, he took a picture of it and posted it on Facebook. The next day, he took it back to the KFC and he told the manager. And the manager freaked out and said, "Yes, I am so sorry, that is a mouse. Would you like a free meal?" she said. He declined the meal, took that fried piece of mouse back home and hired a lawyer. But the people at KFC corporate were not buying it. They had this guy send that mouse to their offices to be tested. And I guess it was actually chicken and not a mouse. That seems a little sketchy because that manager was pretty sure it was a mouse. Hey, what's up, Dad? Hey there, son, how was school? It was fine. Got a lot of homework to do, but how was work? Ugh, not one customer today. I made zero money, but that's not your problem. Don't worry about it. Okay. That sucks.
My dad owns his own tire shop, but it's super slow. He's been very sad. So, I had an idea. That next morning before school, I went into my garage and I got every single sharp nail I could find and I shoved them into my backpack. I then rode my bike to the neighborhood by my dad's shop and I threw nails all over the streets. Tons of them.
Hey, what's up, Dad? Oh, hey, son, how was school? It was pretty good, man. How was work? So many customers today. There was a line down the block. Apparently everyone blew their tires out this morning or something. I was very busy. It was a good day. That's good to hear, Dad. I'm really happy for you. This kid cheated on his test in a genius way. So at his high school, whenever they took a test in a specific class, they would grade all the tests as a class. So you would be grading your own paper, but the teacher would make sure that you only had a red pen at your desk. So when you were grading your own paper, you could only use a red pen. Well, this kid had a brilliant idea. He never studied for tests. He said he didn't really want to. So what he did in this class was he took his red pen, opened it up, took out the red ink pen thing, and replaced that with a black ink pen thing. Looks like a red pen, but it's actually black. So when the teacher is giving out the answers and the students are grading their tests in the red pen, this guy would be fixing everything he got wrong. And it would look like he was grading his tests, when in reality, he was changing his answers. He said this worked every single time, and he got an A on every single test in that class. This vice principal is the worst. This guy said it was the beginning of his senior year in high school, and he was sitting at lunch with a bunch of his friends. He was drinking a Snapple. Dude, no, that is totally crazy. Doesn't make any sense. No, bro, I'm serious. She's a whole snack. When all of a sudden, his Snapple slipped out of his hands and shattered on the floor. No, it's... Oh, no. Well, the school's new vice principal was in the lunchroom that day. She heard the crash and saw him picking it up, and she freaked out.
You, come with me. No, now, no, you.
What did I do?
You used a glass bottle as a weapon. You were trying to cut someone.
I dropped it. She took him to the principal's office. He was freaking out. It was an accident. She was so mean that he was crying. He was suspended for a week and his parents had to pick him up that day. Well, 2 days later, the vice principal checked the security tapes, and she saw clearly that it was an accident.
We saw the videotape, it was an accident, but you can understand why I would think what I thought, right?
Can I go to class now? Fast forward to the end of the year. It was that high school's graduation. Billy Stevenson. You. This mom said her son is 12 years old and he loves to play Fortnite. Well, at the end of that particular school year, she saw his final grades, and they were terrible. She was really disappointed in him and was trying to think of a way to punish him, to make him learn a lesson. And she thought of his Fortnite account. So she went on there and permanently deleted it. This kid was freaking out, crying, screaming. He said that he had spent 2.5 years working on that Fortnite account, and that he had some really rare skins. Now this kid refuses to eat dinner with his family and is not talking to his mom at all. She told him that he is responsible for this because he is the one that got bad grades. He thinks that she went way overboard. What do you think?
Ketchup on chicken tender day is an absolute necessity, and my school has plenty of ketchup packets, especially on chicken tender day. Well, I really needed to make some money to pay for that new Skibbity toilet plushie to add to my collection. Oh yeah. So on chicken tender day, I went into the cafeteria right before lunch, and I took every single ketchup packet and shoved them into my backpack. Then I stood by the ketchup table holding a large ketchup bottle of my own. My plan was in full effect.
Oh my gosh, where's all the ketchup? I can't have my chicken tenders without ketchup.
Yeah, it turns out the school's all out of ketchup today.
Aw, man.
I actually have a full bottle of ketchup right here. I can give you a few squirts.
Oh my god, amazing. Thank you so much.
That'll be $1 for one squirt.
$1 per squirt? The school's ketchup's free.
Well, the school doesn't have any ketchup right now, do they?
Fine, I'll take it. Here's $1.
Thank you. Hey, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Tell your friends.
All right, who's next?
Today's gonna be a good day. AI killed his essay writing business, so he started a genius new business. After he realized AI has been causing his essay writing business huge problems for obvious reasons, he decided to start something brand new. It's called Grubby AI. Grubby AI is a tool used to humanize text and bypass AI detectors. You just put your AI content right here, press humanize, and there you go. Grubby AI is guaranteed to bypass AI detection, and to be honest, this might be the only thing of its kind out there right now. It's absolutely genius. So this mom sent her son to preschool. He's 5, super nice kid, and he loves the lunches she packs for him. They're not normal lunches or whatever, but they're his favorites. Celery sticks with blue cheese and goat cheese, a little bit of kimchi and spam, they're Korean, and a few spicy Doritos tossed in sriracha. What a bold lunch. And honestly, that sounds freaking awesome. Let's go. Anyway, a few hours after she picked him up one day, she gets a call from the teacher, and the teacher doesn't even try to be nice. Hi, yeah, I need you to stop packing your son such disgusting and inappropriate lunches. The mom's like, excuse me? Yes, they're distracting other students, they smell disgusting, and they are just definitely not school appropriate. And keep in mind, this is preschool. And this teacher's going full-on Gordon Ramsay about a 5-year-old's lunch. The mom is stunned. She says this, look, I know it's not the healthiest, but he loves it. It's some of what he eats at home, and it's just comforting for him. Well, it's making the classroom uncomfortable. So the mom wraps it up like a professional. I appreciate your concern, lady, but I'm not going to completely change my son's lunches just because some other students are distracted by what he eats. Okay, bye. And she hangs up. For real though, where does this teacher get off? An hour later, ding, an email from the teacher. This email is saying that the mom's response was unacceptable and that these lunches are just too inappropriate to be sent to school anymore. What? Celery, goat cheese, blue cheese, kimchi, spam, what is wrong with that? This teacher banned a 5-year-old's lunch because she is an ignorant piece of work. Yeah, this mom is the worst. When this kid was in middle school, his mom one day forced him to give all of his Pokemon cards to his cousins. These weren't just regular Pokemon cards. These were 1999 Pokemon cards with a few first edition holographics. So imagine that today. How much money would that be? A crap ton. Well, 3 weeks after he was forced to give his cousins these cards, he was at their house for a birthday party, and he wanted to check on those cards himself. He went into their room and looked around. That's when he saw a box, and in that box were the Pokemon cards. Torn up, spit on, chewed up, these cards were completely destroyed. He said he never forgave his mom for that. And recently, he has shown his mom how much those cards could have gone for. And needless to say, she knows how bad she messed up. Dumb reasons people got in trouble at school. It was grade school and it was the end of the day. This kid got on his bus. The bus driver had to wait a few minutes to leave because there were still some students making their way to the bus. So the bus driver suggested they sing a song. All right, students, we're going to be heading out here soon, but while we wait, let's do a little sing-along, okay? Let's sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. That's when this one kid said this. Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star sucks. What did you say to me? Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star sucks? That's it. The driver then went back to where this kid was sitting and dragged him off the bus and pulled him by the arm to the principal's office. Come on, come on. The heck? Yeah, Miss Henley, this kid threatened me. You should give him a detention. Make him stay. I did not. Sit down. I'm calling your parents. His parents were then called and they were forced to pick him up. They raised this issue to the school superintendent. He then checked the footage of the bus, and they obviously saw that this kid didn't do anything that bad. In fact, the bus driver shouldn't have grabbed him like that. He was fired. This petty principal sucks. One day at this high school, a student came into class 10 minutes late. It was first period. He was still rubbing the sleep out of his eyes. Well, the principal just so happened to be doing classroom check-ins that morning. In that classroom. You're late, Anthony. Why? I missed the bus. I ran here. I'm so sorry. Not good enough. Come with me. She pulls him out in the hallway and just starts laying into him. But she didn't close the classroom door, so that entire class was watching. Like, what the heck? You think the world's gonna care? You show up late to a job, you're done. You show up late to college, they drop you. Life's not gonna babysit you, Anthony. Anthony stays quiet. Then she says, maybe if you got your life together, you would stop showing up late. That's when Anthony finally let loose. You want to talk about getting my life together? I get up at 5 a.m. to get my little brother ready for school because nobody else will. I pack his lunch, I make sure he eats, I try to make the bus, but if I miss it, I run here as fast as I can. So don't stand there and talk to me like I'm just some lazy kid. No. You want to lecture somebody? Why don't you start with yourself? At least I'm showing up and still doing something that matters. I'm not just clocking in for a paycheck and going home to a life I hate. If being a bitter old hag was a subject, you'd be an A+ student. Now get out of my face. Dead silent classroom, dead silent hallway. One student in the classroom whispered, "Ain't no way she's coming back from that. Ain't no way." From that day on, Anthony was a legend, and the principal, well, she stopped doing classroom check-ins in that class. Good for him.
This device can save your computer and other things from power cuts. It's called the Golden Mate. You plug it into the wall, and there's 4 outlets on the back right here. You can then plug in stuff like a computer or your Wi-Fi router, and if the power ever goes out, this thing takes over, allowing you to quickly save and safely shut down everything without hurting your device or losing stuff. Alright, let me show you. So I have my computer plugged into the Golden Mate, and the Golden Mate is plugged into the wall. Alright, the Golden Mate is on, my computer is on, but watch what happens when I unplug the Golden Mate itself. Like I said, it's still running and it's going to take care of your equipment while you safely shut it down and save your files and whatnot. This thing is great. Plus, it looks awesome. This thing would also be amazing for like medical equipment. Say you have some important medical equipment and the power goes out, that stuff would keep running while you figure out your next move. Click that cart right now to get your very own Golden Mate and keep your devices protected. I promise it's worth it.
So this school lets seniors submit quotes for their yearbook photos. Most people pick stuff like, "Thanks, Mom," or "most likely to be a Riz God." You know, stuff like that. But this one senior, the kid who was always kind of getting in trouble, submitted this quote. He wanted his quote to say, "At least I'm not the principal." Apparently, this kid and the principal had some long-standing beef. Everybody thought it was gonna get flagged. Edited out. There was no way it makes it in the yearbook. Except, it did. His quote was in the yearbook. "At least I'm not the principal." The yearbook got delivered. People started flipping through, and then they found it. Page 142, bottom row, there he is. It blew up. People were taking pictures of it and posting it on their social media. It was like a monument, a meme in this school. The next day, the principal calls him down to the office. "So you are not walking at graduation." "What? It was just a joke." "Yeah, a joke. At my expense. Actions have consequences, I'm sorry." That sucked. Yes, he was still graduating, but he wasn't allowed to walk at the ceremony. But this is the epic part. Fast forward a few weeks to graduation day. And obviously this kid doesn't walk. But his friends do. And under their gowns, they're all wearing t-shirts that say, "At least I'm not the principal." And when their name was called and they would get up there, they would unzip and show the t-shirt. Oh my god. Best prank ever. This kid's parents are crazy for this. So this guy said that on his 5th birthday, he woke up very excited for the day. He was hyped. He was bouncing off the walls, and his parents were obviously irritated. But instead of sucking it in and letting their son have a great 5th birthday, this is what they did. They made him get into the car, told him that, "Oh, we're just getting some ice cream, son. I love ice cream." And they drove off. But they didn't go get ice cream. Instead, the parents drove this kid to the local orphanage and said this to him. "You see this, son? It's an orphanage. You can either choose to behave, or we're dropping you off here right now." "What? No. "Get out of the car then. Get out of the car." "No, I'll behave. They then went back home and told the kid to go to his room. And that's where he spent the rest of his birthday. In his room, crying by himself. What's wrong with parents? This lady said that when she was growing up, she had 3 brothers. She was the only girl in the family. For some reason, her mom just didn't like her, I guess. She would always say things like, "My focus is on raising my boys. I love my boys. I love your brothers so much, and I don't love you." Which is, yeah, what the hell is her problem? But that was her reality. She started saying this stuff to her at the age of 8 years old. And growing up, she never got a birthday party once. But all 3 of her brothers got birthday parties every year, and they were huge. When she turned 16 years old, during one of her brother's birthday parties, she blew up on her mother and left. Before that party started, she had recorded her mom saying messed up stuff to her. And right before she left, she played that video on the TV in front of her entire family. "I don't know what you want from me. My focus is on raising my boys. I love your brothers so much. I don't love you. I love your brothers so much. Those are my boys, but I definitely don't love you." So now everyone knows what went on behind closed doors. After that day, she never talked to her mom ever again. One day in middle school, this kid was in math class, completely bored out of his mind. So instead of reviewing the packet he was given, he was doodling a picture in his notebook. He was sketching a cartoon of that teacher. Weird haircut, holding a ruler like it's a sword. I mean, it was kind of brutal, but it was funny. Well, suddenly the teacher walks by and she sees it. "Is this supposed to be me?" "No." She snatches the paper, holds it up like it's evidence. Think this is funny? Office, now. He's like, yep, I'm done for. Detention for sure. He walks down to the principal's office, nervous. He gets in there and he hands the principal the picture that he drew of his teacher, expecting the worst. The principal stares at it, silent for a second, and then... he bursts out laughing. Okay. All right, first of all, man, this is spot on. Kudos to you. Second of all, I've been telling her to fix her hair for 3 years. Really? Oh, yeah. Hey, pass me that red marker. Okay. He takes the red marker and draws flames behind her in the picture. Boom. Now it's art. I'm gonna keep this, all right? For me. Go to class, man. You're good. Huh. All right. No detention, no punishment, just a really cool interaction with a super cool principal. That's awesome. Okay, so what's going on with school lunches these days? A high schooler took pictures of their school lunches and put it on Reddit, and most of them look absolutely disgusting. Like one day, all they served was a plate of nachos. Here's a nasty looking chicken patty with like 4 fries. The thing still looks frozen. Is this cheese curds and chips? Who's in charge of the lunch? Oh, here's another chicken patty with some different fries, and this one looks even worse. All right, the next one's a hot dog, and this is absolutely abysmal. What in God's name is that? This one's I couldn't even tell you. This one day, they got a Hot Pocket and broccoli. That's the laziest meal I've ever seen. And this last one looks like a beef sandwich and fries. This one actually doesn't look too bad, but it's kind of sus. Is this a problem everywhere? Like, are your lunches good? Or what's going on? Tell me. This kid's an absolute genius. So one of my followers is running a business in his school right now, and he's been running it for about 1.5 years. So this dude told me he carries around a giant backpack and he sells stuff out of it. And there's actually a teacher at his school who helps him sell the big stuff. This guy sent me some pictures of his product. You see here, he's got like soda, candy, there's Prime, there's Oreos. This guy goes all out. Look at this stuff. And for the best part, he sent me pictures of the profit he's made. Look at this wad of cash, just bank rolling in every single day. I mean, come on, obviously business is absolutely booming. He told me in total, so far, he's made over $3,000 and he has no plans to stop. Gotta respect the hustle. Would you run a business at your school? Okay, this would freak me out. So a family was camping in Australia, and they were sitting around the fire eating some food, when suddenly their campsite was invaded by robber crabs, or otherwise known as coconut crabs. This whole situation is super creepy, but what's even weirder is how they don't seem to care at all. This dude's eating, this dude's just scrolling on his phone. This girl seems to be enjoying herself. Australians are built different, I'll tell you that. Interesting facts about lucid dreams. Lucid dreaming is when you are in a dream and you know that you're in a dream. You can control it and do whatever you want, like literally. I taught myself how to do it when I was younger and it is awesome. Did you know that time moves slower when you were in a dream? One person apparently lived a lifetime in a lucid dream. She said it felt like she was in there for 100 years. And she wasn't stuck, she said. She said it was epic, but it only actually happened over the course of a night. When you lucid dream, you can create a world, cities, houses, and even people that you can revisit every time you're back in that dream. It's like you have 2 lives, your waking life and your dream life. Dream characters are people that your subconscious puts in your dream. So say you're 100% lucid, you know you're dreaming, and you walk around a city. If you ask a question to somebody walking around, their answer is actually your subconscious talking to you. Have you ever had a lucid dream? Okay, so this is crazy. It was pizza day at this one dude's high school. He took a bite of his pizza and it tasted nasty. Here's the pizza in question. But he noticed on the bottom of the slice of pizza, there was this weird stuff on there. Now, it could have been just the flour or the powdery part of the crust, but he was still skeptical. So he brought this slice of pizza to his science teacher. And the science teacher tested it. And guess what? That stuff is mold. W teacher, L school. 5 disgusting school lunches. Up first, we have a chili dog type lunch. And this one's not horrible, but it definitely does not look very appetizing. Up next was from a school that was serving chicken sandwiches one day. And this was the chicken sandwich that they were serving. Next, this is a meatloaf meal, I think. Is that meatloaf? I don't really know. It's definitely a super weird thing to serve at school lunch. Alright, this next school was serving pizza and mozzarella sticks one day. And here is a picture of that lunch. The pizza doesn't look cooked, the mozzarella sticks look nasty, and what are those? Garbanzo beans? Disgusting. And last but not least, another school lunch pizza, but this one was completely molded. Whoever served this to students should be fired. When this kid was in middle school, he bought a shoe customization kit, and he was skilled enough to design stuff like this on people's shoes. Well, he decided to start a business. He charged kids $10 for him to customize their shoes. But more and more people started getting interested in this, and business started booming. So he raised his price to $50 per customization. Things were going great. He was running this business for 3 months, until one day the vice principal walked in on him in the bathroom designing some shoes. The vice principal saw him and told him that he had to ask the principal if he could continue. Well, the principal said, yeah, for sure, keep going. And he did. He continued this business for 7 months. But then one day, a school board official was visiting the school, and the school board official caught him in the bathroom as well. He was then shut down completely. In total, he made about $11,000. That's insane. When this kid was in middle school, he would make these things all the time. They were called paper wasps. These folded pieces of paper you put in a rubber band and you shoot them at people. Well, this kid would occasionally sneak up on his friends and attack them with his paper wasps. And yes, they hurt very bad. But nobody ever got back at him because for some reason, his paper wasps were far superior than anybody else's. So this kid got an idea. He started making tons and tons of paper wasps. His secret in making his paper wasps was using the right amount of paper. And after it was done and folded, he would staple the tip. The staple was used solely to increase pain on impact. Well, business was absolutely booming. The kid was pretty much an arms dealer at his school. Eventually, because of his business, full-blown battles were happening throughout the school day every single day. He was eventually shut down, but in total, he made over $400. This kid ran a super weird business at his school. So, in middle school, this kid noticed something weird at lunch. Kids would come back to the table with their lunch trays, but a lot of them wouldn't touch their carton of milk. And they always had milk because the school forced them to take it, even if they didn't want it. And that's where he got his idea. He started collecting these untouched milk cartons every day from his friends. After lunch, he would stash them in his locker. They were still cold. Then, during the last period, when the sports teams had their practices, he would take the milk to the gym and try to sell them for $1 a piece. Now, I don't know what he was thinking because who in their right mind would drink milk or chocolate milk during a sports practice? And as you can imagine, business wasn't really booming at all. Although there were some super weird kids that did buy this milk from him. He tried doing this business for a couple months, but one day there was an awful smell coming from his locker. The janitor opened it and found upwards of 60 cartons of milk in there, rotting. The principal obviously shut him down and he was suspended. You gotta respect the hustle, I guess. This guy was angry for years. We're gonna call him Patrick. Well, 29 years ago, when Patrick was in 3rd grade, he was sitting at a lunch table with some other kids. In the middle of lunch, Patrick pulls out a small bag of carrots. That's when another kid, let's call him Jimmy, looks at him and says, "Look everyone, Patrick's a carrot boy." And for some reason, that incident really stuck with him. Nobody ever brought it up again. All throughout high school and into adulthood, he built up this anger, this raging anger. And whenever he ate carrots, the memory would pop up. Carrot boy! Well, a year or two ago, as a full-grown adult, there's an impromptu high school reunion. He decided to go. He gets there, he has a few drinks, he eats some food, but that's when he notices Jimmy. I don't know. That old anger welled up. That's when he saw a plate of carrots sitting out. He grabs the plate of carrots, he ran over to Jimmy, and... I guess I'm still carrot boy, huh? I'm still carrot boy? Bro, you good? What are you talking about? Carrot boy, remember? You called me carrot boy and you were all laughing at me in 3rd grade? Guess I'm still carrot boy. I'm sorry? I mean, I don't know what to say. They had all forgotten about it. 7 of his old classmates unfriended him on Facebook. And Jimmy blocked him on everything. Dude, don't shoot it from there. If it sticks, I'm a legend. It started with one kid. He was bored during history class, and he sat in the last row of the room. So because he was bored, he pulled a rubber band from his backpack, and he shot it at the wall behind him. Whap! It stuck to the wall. No one noticed. The next day, he did it again. Nice! Thwap! 2 rubber bands stuck to the wall. And then it became this thing. It was like an unspoken challenge for the kids that sat in the back of the room. The challenge would be to see if your rubber band can stick to the wall. And kids did whatever it took. They dipped these rubber bands in spit, juice, soda, anything that made them tacky enough to hold. It was disgusting, but it worked. And over time, the wall started to change. There were layers bands stuck on top of other bands. It looked like some weird, stretchy art project. And the teacher, he never turned around. He was one of those teachers that stood in the front of the class the whole time and he lectured from the board. He never noticed a thing. But then one day, they got a sub, and the sub noticed immediately. She walks in, she sees the wall, and she freezes. And all the students are waiting her to be grossed out or to snitch to the principal or something. But instead, she walks over, pulls out a pen, and leaves a note on the wall. When she walked away, the kids checked the note. All the note said was respect. That's awesome. That's his search history? Yup. Oh my. This teacher left his smartboard on when he went to the bathroom and he completely exposed himself. Not like that, chill. But his laptop was still connected, still unlocked, and the screen was just sitting there. At first, nobody cared. But then somebody looked up and noticed something. There was a tab open next to the one that he had up, and it had his full name on it. Yo, wait. Did he Google himself? Oh my god, he did. So they clicked it, and yes, he had Googled himself. Full name typed into Google. And there were other tabs open too, of like photos. And one of the photos was from some old college article. And the photo was zoomed in on his face, like he was looking for a version of himself that he used to be. They started checking other tabs. One said, how to become a principal. Another said, can teachers date each other? And the last one just said, meme template. Kids were laughing, they were taking pictures, but then the door opened. He saw the board, saw what was open on his computer, and he just stood there. He closed the laptop, looked around the room, and said, do y'all ever have those days where you just don't even recognize yourself anymore? He then just sat back down at his desk, and nobody said a word after that. They said it was actually a pretty sad moment. Poor guy.
Okay, so I have the Bulldog ramen, but this time it's 2 times spicy. So I thought this one was spicy, but this one looks crazy. Now we're gonna boil some water. Now that it's boiling, we put this into the boiling for 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes, now we drain the water. Now it says to add the 2 times spicy hot sauce. Then you add, last step is the pepper flakes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think if you like spicy stuff, this is gonna be awesome for you. I'm not sure how I'm gonna handle it, so I'm gonna take one bite. Let's see. Delicious, but very, very spicy.
So this girl's about to start high school, 9th grade. New school, new classes, and she just got her course selection sheet for the next year. She fills it out on her own. She just picks what she wants to take. You know, she doesn't want to overwhelm herself, which I totally get. It's her first year in a brand new school. It's high school, you know, and she's just trying to get through the transition without drowning in homework. Yeah, I would do the same. A few days later, her mom finds the form, and she loses it. Why did you pick all the easiest courses? What happened to preparing for college? Mom, I picked all the easy ones because I don't want to drown in work. It's high school, and I'm not even sure if I want to go to university yet. She didn't say she's dropping out. She didn't say that she's never going to learn again. She just said, I'm 13, Mom, I just don't know. But that's not enough for her mom. Her mom is accusing her of slacking, saying she's just trying to avoid homework. Then she notices that she didn't sign up for music class, and she flips out again. Why didn't you sign up for music class? You are so good at music. Because if I take music, I have to join the band, and band practice is at 5 a.m., Mom. So? She's 13. She doesn't want honors classes and pre-sunrise saxophone rehearsals. The mom ended up forcing her to take the classes that she wanted her to take, which, in my opinion, is so messed up. And I just want to tell her, don't be confused when your daughter doesn't want to talk to you in 5 years. Where's my marker? Where's my marker? Miss, there's another marker right there. It's not the same. So this teacher had a favorite marker. Not the kind of favorite where she used it. It was the kind of favorite where she just talked about it a lot and kept it close. It was a purple Expo marker with a chisel tip. She called it her thinking marker. You know, she would use it to like teach and whatever. She kept it in a separate drawer and she said that nobody was allowed to use it. One day she opens the drawer and it's gone. She pulls the drawer out of her desk, turns around and holds it up to the class. Who took my purple marker? Class is confused. They're like, here we go. But she doesn't start class. She just paces the room. You know, I'm not even mad. I'm just really, really disappointed in you guys. That marker was a gift. And it meant something to me. And everyone's just sitting there like, yo, is she crying? Over a marker? Then she locks the door. We are not leaving until it's returned. She gives a whole 15-minute speech. She called it a teachable moment in betrayal. People started checking their bags just to prove that they didn't have it. They were dumping everything out like, miss, we don't have your frickin' marker, lady. Eventually, someone finds this purple marker under her desk. It rolled behind a storage box that she kept down there. She picks it up, holds it in the air, and she says, see? This is why trust matters, you guys. Class ended 10 minutes late that day because of this teacher's nonsense, and nobody learned a thing, except for the fact that maybe she is weirdly in love with an expo marker. Well, this principal had a secret. This person said that back in 8th grade, there was a principal named Mr. Reynolds, and Mr. Reynolds was way too intense. He had this whole no phones in school rule, but he took it to a weird level. If he even saw the outline of your phone in your pocket, he would stop you in the hallway. Give it to me. No, I'm not even using it. Doesn't matter, you know the rules. And the worst part, he'd keep it locked in his office until the end of the day. And if it was like the 3rd or 4th time he had to take your phone away from you, your parents would have to come in and get it. So absolutely just crazy. Well, this one girl, let's call her Ashley, she had had enough. He took her phone one day for checking the time during lunch. And give me that! I'm literally checking the time. You know the rules. So the next day, she told her older brother, who was already graduated but still had friends at the school. And he came up with a plan. Got you, sis. That weekend, Ashley's brother made a fake email address, pretending to be from the school's IT department. And he sent an email to the school board, saying there was suspicious activity coming from the principal's computer. Send. Take that, Mr. Reynolds. Now, he was just trying to make Mr. Reynolds' life a living hell. He didn't think anything of it, really. Just to mess with him real bad. But on Monday, an actual person from the school district showed up at that school. Turns out, Mr. Reynolds had a handful of students' phones backed up on his computer. He found out how to bypass passcodes, and some of them didn't even have passcodes, so he was just uploading stuff to his computer. Text messages, photos, everything. A complete invasion of privacy and super, super creepy. And he was fired on the spot. So Ashley's brother, trying to prank the principal, turned out to be something that actually needed to happen. This dude was messed up. No goodbyes, just walked out the building while the students watched. Get a life, loser. Screw you, Mr. Reynolds. You're a freaking creep. Bye. Ashley got her phone back, and the students got a principal that actually cared about them. We thought you were cool. Leave my classroom! There was this teacher everybody liked. He's the kind of teacher that would sit with students at lunch and joke around with them. So one day during lunch, this group of kids is sitting with this teacher. It's a normal lunch and they're talking and laughing with him. Then everybody heads off to class. Well, I guess some students in the cafeteria that day trashed it, and the janitor was furious. Stupid kids making a big mess. I'm gonna complain. This janitor tells administration, everyone's talking. I guess this janitor really wanted whoever made this mess to get in trouble. Well, somehow, the cool teacher heard about this and blamed the kids he was sitting with. I was sitting next to Billy, Kevin, Kyle, Steven. They made the mess. Now, all those kids get called to the office. We didn't make the mess at all. Yeah, we were just eating our lunch, chilling, talking. No, yeah, we were sitting by Mr. Erickson. He can vouch for us. But the principal's like, well, kids, he's actually the one that turned you in. The kids feel betrayed. They go to his classroom after school. Yo, dude, why'd you tell the school that we made a huge mess during lunch? We were literally talking to you about GTA 6. Yeah, what? All the teacher did was this. I don't know. Now get out of my classroom. But that's not where it ends. All those kids went home. But the teacher personally called each and every one of those kids' parents to tell them that they trashed the lunchroom, which is a complete and utter lie. And that's the day all those kids learned a valuable lesson. Sometimes the teacher knows they're innocent, but it doesn't matter anyway. When he was 10, his grandpa asked him, what do you want for your birthday? And he says, a brick. A brick? Why? Because my parents still have this super old TV. If I throw a brick at the TV, we'll have to get a new one. Oh, I'm just kidding. Maybe just some Pokemon cards or something. The grandpa just smiles and nods. A couple months later, this kid's birthday comes around, and there's a beautifully wrapped present on the table. Heavy, perfect corners. The kid opens it. Inside was a single brick. The grandpa's losing it. You're crazy. I can't believe you remembered. And the grandpa leans in and says real quiet to him, wait till your mom's in the kitchen and then waste the TV. So the kid's mom goes into the kitchen to grab the cake. The kid takes the brick, smashes it in the TV. TV is destroyed. What happened here? Now we gotta get a new TV. Yes. The grandpa took the blame for throwing the brick at the TV. I don't know why I did that. Then the kid says, it's okay, Mom. Please don't be mad at Grandpa. I'll help you pick out the new TV. Okay, fine. You're right. It's okay, Pops. You'll be okay. Just sit down and relax. I'll clean this up. The mom then leaves to grab the broom. Nice work, kid. I love you, Grandpa. What a nice story. I don't feel good. Puke somewhere else. It's finals week, and the hallways are dead silent during class. Everyone's either taking tests or they're doing reviews. Well, on this particular day, this one kid had not felt good. His stomach feels weird. He's nauseous. By midday, he's pale, and he can't hold it in anymore. So he sprints out of the classroom to the bathroom. He turns the corner to the nearest bathroom, and the janitor cart is parked right there. One bathroom is locked, and the other one is blocked. I gotta throw up, he said. Throw up somewhere else, the janitor replies. He tries to slip past him. No, stay back. Now he's panicking, but he sees the garbage bag hanging off the janitor's cart, so he decides he's just gonna throw up in there. But the janitor says, shoo, get out of here. And that's it. Kid just steps back, looks at the floor in front of him, and pukes all over it. He then backs up a bit and pukes more. Now he's leaving this puke trail as he's stepping back. When he's done, he wipes his face and he looks at the janitor and says, well, looks like you're gonna have to clean that up, huh? And the janitor is mad. But there's nothing he can do because he's the one that refused this kid a safe, clean toilet to throw up in. So now that's what he gets. This bully got smoked. So there's this kid named Mateo. He's super nice, he's quiet, and he always walks around in these old beat up New Balance shoes. And then there's Jackson, super loudmouth. And he wears these $600 limited edition Nikes that everyone compliments. Hey, yo, check the drip. Nice shoes, Jackson. Thanks. Now, normally, Mateo ignores Jackson because Jackson's constantly making fun of Mateo's shoes. But one day in gym, Mateo had enough. Jackson was like, bro, you're still wearing those nasty-ass crusty shoes? You're probably super poor, you freaking idiot. Everyone laughs. Mateo doesn't. Because here's the secret. Mateo is a walking sneaker encyclopedia. He can spot a pair of fake sneakers from a mile away. And nobody knew this about him. And Jackson, those $600 shoes, Mateo's known for months that those are fake. And he's kept quiet because he's a nice guy. Until now. When the class is doing laps around the gym, Mateo sneaks out and heads to the locker room. He opens Jackson's locker because, of course, he never locks it. And he walks out to the gym floor holding the shoes like evidence. Everybody, yo, dude, those are my shoes. Since y'all want to talk about my shoes, let's talk about Jackson's shoes. He pulls out his phone and he begins comparing pictures of fake shoes to the ones that Jackson has, and they line up. So this is a fake. Look at Jackson's. See that stitching? That's fake. Look at the logo. It's completely off. It's in the wrong font. Look at the sole of the shoe. Completely discolored. These are only worth $25. Everyone's like, what, dude? So you're a freaking fraud then, huh, Jackson? No, I mean, yes. I mean, no. Bro, you can't clown people for their shoes when you're wearing freaking replicas. I paid more for my New Balances than you did for those fakes. And from then on, nobody made fun of Mateo's shoes ever again. Man, yeah. Legend.
This teacher is insane for this. This class had just finished reading Lord of the Flies in English, and the teacher? She was passionate, maybe too passionate. So after they had finished reading this Lord of the Flies, the next day she tells them this. Class, we are going into the woods tomorrow. Bring a backpack full of things. We're gonna live like the boys on the island. So next day they come with backpacks full of stuff and they head to the woods. No rules, no roles, just chaos. She hands them bandanas and points to the woods behind the school. All right, go. One teacher and 20 students, and these weren't just regular kids. Somebody brought a pillowcase full of flour and was whacking people with it. Another kid filled a spray bottle with perfume and was spraying in another kid's eyes, trying to blind them. Take that. Soon there was turf wars, alliances, groups getting ambushed. Kids were using mud as war paint. They were getting feral, and the teacher was just standing there at the edge of the woods watching this go down like it's some sort of social experiment. Yes. 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 And it went way too far. kids were getting bloody noses, one person was throwing up profusely, I don't know why, and the teacher didn't get in trouble for this, not even like a warning or anything. The principal didn't even know about any of this until a parent called a couple days later, but he still did nothing. And the crazy part is, the next year, this teacher did the same exact thing. Honestly, that sounds kind of fun.
This is a super unique school business. So this dude would make end of the year videos, like a video yearbook. And at first, it looked like any end of the year video. Music, selfies, people walking to class, doing finger hearts. But then it would cut to black and the title would pop up. The real yearbook. You see, it turns out this one student had been filming everything all year. Not the school spirit stuff, not the assemblies, not the sports teams. He filmed all the chaos and the shenanigans. The 5-person fight in Spanish class. The time one Hawaiian roll started the biggest food fight in that school's history. Even the teacher's meltdown during second period.
You guys are the worst class I've ever had. Screw you.
And the edit of the results would be insane. Perfect cuts, super good sound design, transitions, and at the end of the year, he would tell people to report to room 108, which is one of the club rooms. It was after school, and he told people it was $2 to get in. Most people had no clue what this was about, but they paid anyway, and by 3:15, the entire room was packed with people. The lights go off, it's silent. He presses play and the projector goes. The video starts and it's epic. People are laughing, they're cheering. They're losing their minds. It was all the crazy stuff that happened that year in one perfectly edited video. When it was over, somebody said,
Yo, bro, that was awesome. Run it back.
but he didn't. Instead, he pulled out this Tupperware container that was filled with flash drives. Each flash drive had the file of that video on it, and he sold them for $10 each. Guess what? They sold out and he made absolute bank. He did this exact same thing for a few years after this. And then he stopped. But seriously, what a genius idea. You gotta respect this kid's hustle. This kid turned a broken vending machine into a business. So during construction at this one school, it got moved to this weird corner by the band room. Most people ignore it. It's kind of like cracked. The lights don't work in there. It just looks off. This one freshman notices something. If you tilt the keypad kind of forward, it'll come off. There's a bunch of random little switches and buttons behind it. And he realized if you just press a bunch of these buttons, snacks just start falling out of the vending machine. It was a broken vending machine. What does this do? Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, everything's hot. So instead of going nuts, he keeps this quiet. Starts posting on Snapchat. $1 chips, meet by the band room. By this point, he had gathered a bunch of snacks from this vending machine. And people were lining up to pay for these snacks. And the thing is, he's selling these for cheaper than the vending machine charged because, well, he got them for free. By the end of the first week, it was a full-blown snack operation and he made $80. But one day, a custodian was kind of watching him from afar and saw what he was doing. What is that kid doing? Nice. Dear God. The day after that, the vending machine was moved. But by that point, most of the snacks were gone anyway, and he made a good amount of money. So, hey, you gotta respect the hustle. This woman was arrested. Here's why. So her son was in like elementary school or middle school, I think, and he told her one day that he was getting bullied by some kid at school. This kid would always steal his water bottles and his drinks and stuff like that, and call him names. Well, she couldn't stand to hear that. Her name is Jennifer Rossi, and she came up with a plan to get back at this bully. One day, she mixed together lemon juice, vinegar, Gatorade, and salt into a sports bottle. She gave it to her son to take to school the next day. And like clockwork, during PE class, this happened. Hey, idiot. Yeah? Give me your water bottle. Okay. Apparently, the kid then got violently ill and was sent to the hospital. There was then, of course, an investigation, and that's when police found out that this woman was the one who deliberately made this drink to give to the bully. What do you think about all this? You shouldn't have stolen the water bottle, right? It's crazy that she's in jail.
বন্ধু তুই যদি রক্ত দেস ভালো লাগে না রে দোস্ত
না দুলা ভাই আমি তো কোচিং এ যাই না আমার তো বাসায় গেস্ট আসছে আর আমার আম্মু তো একা এজন্য আমি যাই না
আমার পড়াশোনা সবকিছু বন্ধ করে দিবে তখন আমি কি করব
আরে ছাইরা দে ভালোবাসা যে এত প্যারা এত কষ্ট এত জ্বালা যন্ত্রণা জানলে ভালোই বাসতাম জিসান আর তুলির ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস তাই রক্ত লাগবে দোস্ত
আসসালামু আলাইকুম দুলা ভাই।
আরে শালা, ওয়ালাইকুম আসসালাম। কি খবর, কেমন আছো? বান্ধবীও তো যায় না, এতবার ফোন দিলাম ফোনও ধরতেছে না। তুমি একটা ফোন দাও তো, ফোন বের করো।
কি বলেন দুলা ভাই, ও যায় নাই? কথা হইছে, ভাইয়া বলছে যে ভাইয়া আমাদের কোচিং এর সামনে আর আসবে না, আর তোকে ডিস্টার্বও করবে না।
কারণ না মানে 1 থেকে 3 গুনমু না বাবা। প্রেম হইলেই হবে, প্রেম হইলে এমনি ডিস্টেন্স হবে বাবা। আমার খালি ওরে দরকার। রক্ত কেন? ইতিহাস লিখবো, ভালোবাসার ইতিহাস।
ভালো আছি, আপনি ভালো আছেন?
আমি তো ভালো আছি। তো তোমার বোন কোথায়?
আচ্ছা একটা মিনিট, আমি কল দিচ্ছি।
এক রাতে ভালো হয়ে গেল, এটাও আমার বিশ্বাস করতে হবে? দোস্ত আমার না ভয় লাগছে।
আসতে বলুন না, সেটা আমার একটু জরুরি কথা আছে।
বাবা
ভাই, আমি তো এলাকা ছাড়ার আগে
তুমি একটা বিরাট টুকরা ছেলে, যেই ছেলে।
তানিয়া, আমার পিস্তলটা নিয়ে আয় তো।
টাকা দুধটা, টাকা কি দুধটা রাইখে গেলাম গো।
মাত্র সে ফেসবুকে স্ট্যাটাস দিয়েছে সে একটি অনাথ বাচ্চাকে
কত স্যাক্রিফাইস করছি, এলাকার বড় ভাই থেকে রিক্সা চালক হয়ে গেলাম, আর সেইটাই করবো। যে গরম না। আর এই বড় ভাই তোর মায়ের চিকিৎসার দায়িত্ব নিছে। সেলিম ভাই ভালোবাসার লেগে জেল খাটছিল।
ভাই আপনি যত কথাই, এই বাড়িতে ওই বদমাইশটার কথা একবারও ভুলে উচ্চারণ করবা না।
ভাই মিনিমাম আপনি 17 লাইনের একটা কবিতা লেখেন। 17 লাইনের কবিতা
কিন্তু ছাপাই না, সব মাথার ভিতরে থাকে। যখন পড়তে ইচ্ছা করে মাথা, আমি জানো ওরে বাপ করে দেব। আর আমি কি কমো জানো? কমু তানিয়া ভালো কেমন বেটা, কস না কেন, বেটা।
এটা পড়ে আপনার প্রেমে পুরো উপ করে পড়ে যাবো। আর তো আপনি পারবেন ভাই, আপনি পারবেন।
ও 700 লাইন লিখবো, আর বাদ বাকি 300 লাইন আমি লেখা বললাম।
একটু নামিয়ে দাও। মানে ও ছাড়া পাক না পাক তাতে আমাদের কি?
ভিতরটা শিমুল তুলার মতো নরম হয়ে ছিল, যাওয়ার সাথে সাথে একটা
তুমি এতদিন যা করেছো তাতে আমার একটুও মন গলেনি। আর তোমাকে ভালোবাসার কোনো কারণ।
ও আপনি সে বড় ভাই? আপনার নাম তো আমি বহুত শুনছি, কিন্তু আমার
বুঝছস?
ভাই আমি এটাই বুঝলাম না, আপনি এই মাইয়া তানিয়ার মধ্যে কি পাইছেন? এলাকার সব মাইয়া আপনার।
মানুষ মাত্রই ভুল করে, তাতে কি?
ভাই এমন যে করব,
দাঁড়ান, মাথার ভিতরে অলরেডি একদম। তানিয়ার বাপরে আমি চ্যালেঞ্জ করছি, 7 দিনের মধ্যে তানিয়া আমারে, আমি প্রেমে ভালাবো কেমনে বেটা, কস না কেন ক বেটা।
ভাই কি কম গন মানে হ্যাঁ বাড়িতে কেমনে ভাই করবো এটা তো জানি না, এর মধ্যে আপনি কবিতা দিয়ে দিচ্ছেন। আমি তো
কোন হারামজাদা আমার মায়েরা ডিস্টার্ব করে?
খালু আপনি শুধু শুধু রাগ করছেন।
আমি হইতেছি রিক্সা, তুমি হইতেছে এসি বাস।
মামা পাড়া দিত।
আপনার ছেলের সাথে আমি আমার মেয়েকে বিয়ে দিব। ঠিক আছে ভাই সাহেব।
ফুটে যাব না, মানে এত হ্যান্ডসাম ফ্রেন্ডলি সুন্দর
আর জিত চিরদিন থাকবে। একটা এতিম ছেলের জন্য আজকে আমি
আমার মতো একটা মানুষকে ভালোবাসা যায়।
সত্যি বলতেছো তানিয়া?
সেলিম,
আবার আসবো স্যার। আগে আপনার বাসায় আসতে গেলে পা কাঁপতো, এখন আর পা কাঁপে না।